All right, welcome back. Welcome back. So earlier on today, I was watching Honest Bunch, and I stumbled into. I think it might be the second time I'm stumbling into her, but I really like what I'm hearing from her, and I wanted to share a little bit of it, and then also to honestly promote her. I like what she's out there in Nigeria, and our services does not really extend to Nigeria, So anytime I see good people like this that know what they're talking about and they can help, I will kind of highlight them. Her name is Lara Kudayisi. I'm gonna play a little bit of video and then we'll talk. But before I do that, pardon my manners, Shay. Sorry about that. Shay, say, what do you feel the police can do to came to the church to have a word with Nigerians in the church? Can you elaborate? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Can you elaborate? If you're talking about the stuff with the UK women stuff, I have a segment coming up. We can talk about that, but elaborate. Without any further ado, let's play this video and then we'll take it from there.
It would affect how they turn out on the long run. Most of the time, the reason why you are also like this is your own parents too.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Is make I tell you this thing. My mom caught me with blade here. Do you understand? I stole her 5 naira. So I didn't like my mom for a long time until I went to therapy. And the therapist told me, go and ask how your mom grew up. When she tell me, hey, I begin cry like pikin. Because the person go cut and put pepper.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Strip her naked. It was bad. So I forgave easily because I'm like, that's what they gave her. What you can't give someone what you don't have.
You cannot give someone what you don't have. As simple as that sounds, it's one of the most profound things you can keep reminding yourself when it comes to this game of life, relationships, and marriage. You can't give what you don't have. A lot of people just struggle with quote unquote accountability. That's how they see life. But it's not really accountability they're talking about. They're just judgmental. I know what accountability looks like. It usually starts with self. And most people struggle with self-accountability and then they jump at accountability and they're just being judgmental. So, for example, even you as a child, we might look at you and say, but you were the child, but now you're an adult. Everybody used to be a child too, right? And people only give what they learned somehow, some way. It doesn't mean they're not going to be held accountable. It doesn't mean there's no consequences for their behavior, but there's going to be consequences for you ignoring the work you need to do on yourself in the name of it was your parents' fault. You're going to collect woto if that's how you think. And that's what she's speaking to.
You give people what you have. So number one, you yourself, you need to go and help yourself, go and heal. You yourself. That's
Absolutely.
why I say if you want to be a better parent to a child, you have to go through therapy. Because the more you heal, the better your parenting will be. That's number one. Then number two, you know what they say in the church? That you don't cast away your wounded soldiers.
Don't cast away your wounded soldiers.
Don't do that.
Wow.
I was a wounded soldier.
I'm not sure how many churches where they talk about that, but yeah. Most people, that's exactly what they do. That's exactly what judgmental behavior is. It's condemnation, right? If you've ever read the book, one of the books I recommend is How to Win and Influence Friends by Dale Carnegie. I always butcher the title, but if you said Dale Carnegie How to Win, you will find it. Do not criticize, do not condemn, and there's a third C: do not criticize, do not condemn, do not complain. Most people do exactly those 3 things and they call it accountability, or they are, they might not admit it, but they might as well just say, I'm the judge. And what most people do, especially in the church, religious setting, is they cast away the wounded soldiers. Why? Okay, again, you can't give what you don't have, but oftentimes they don't see them as wounded soldiers. They see them as the enemy, spirit from water, from marine, and things like that. It's crazy.
You don't cast away your wounded soldiers.
Don't cast away your wounded soldiers.
Don't do that. I was a wounded soldier. You understand? When my father knew, my parents knew that this girl, from the way she did go, she go become somebody great. But they thought that this thing don't scatter that thing. What do you do to wounded soldiers? You nurture them. You take them to hospital.
No, they must have been wounded because they belong to the devil. That's how we think coming out of these churches and religious settings. Mostly, I'm speaking about mostly churches. I'm a church boy, so I'm speaking about ourselves, okay? But judgmental spirits, we judge our parents, sometimes we judge our children. But anyway, I really like what she's talking about. I really like what she's talking about. Let me play a little bit more. Shei says, I agree, you have to rebrand yourself, renewing of the mind. It's a big deal, sir. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to you, Shei, for hanging out with me and Babes Wind. Let's keep going.
You treat them. You nurture them until they get better. So if your child gets pregnant or does anything, sometimes your child, God forbid, but some people have it, is hooked on drugs.
Yeah.
You take them to hospital. You keep looking out for how they will get better, because that is a wounded soldier.
Let me jump at somewhere else.
Because imagine if I
husband that is virgin her, he would have doubted that she had a womb.
Okay, jump
turn
here.
your life.
Welcome. I knew that was gonna happen. Pay some bills. But yeah, I really like what I listened to about 2 hours and 22 minutes. It's a good podcast. Go listen to the full thing. Hold on.
Use it to make mistakes.
Do you understand? So check the word. What does the word say? What if you're a Christian? What does the Bible say?
Find a better spot.
Everything is tied towards that thing. Free yourself.
You see, this thing is going to lead me to this question I'm going to ask you.
Let's have it.
Why is it that? Do you think it's possible that it is the same reason why people divorce? They now start glowing because they are trying to look better for the person that they left.
Oh, yes. You understand? So a lot of times, first of all, especially women, I know it happens to men too, but women, when you divorce, when you're in a...
So just in case you're not up to speed with who Lara is the person with the testimony. She had 15 baby deletions. I need to call it on YouTube. 14 heartbreaks, she said. She's now married for the second time. She had one divorce. She had her first baby when she was 19. She's 41 years old now. She's a life relationship marriage coach now, a therapist in Nigeria. So I think it's an incredible. If you go listen to this full podcast, you will see what I'm talking about. There's a lot of lessons in it, okay? And a lot of it really get down to self-work, as I always preach here. It's self-work, self-care, self-work, self-care. Removing the speck from your own eyes, regardless of what it looks like, in terms of your situation, your circumstances, and its proximities to being a victim. Like, listen, you've probably been a victim. Nonetheless, you're gonna have to do some work to remove yourself from that place. So that's who she is, just in case I think I missed that.
An unhappy marriage, it reflects on your skin. It reflects in your weight. It reflects in your life.
Even the hair.
You understand? Yes. I had alopecia after my first divorce.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Actions have consequences.
Your hair fall off.
I'm telling you, inside like this round.
So you be Gorimapa like this now.
Now you go be Gorimapa.
All right, so nice one.
Just a portion. Do you understand? You understand? And now it's healing.
Wow.
Because all these things, actions have consequences. It's from inside.
Yeah.
She talked about karma. A lot of people's idea of karma is what they've seen in the movies. They're expecting the end where the bad guy will die, and finally they, as the good person, will finally succeed. That's problematic. That is problematic. Okay, most people are like this. Okay, they're waiting for the day. They're waiting for that day that the bad guy, whatever they consider to be a bad guy, and what she's saying is like, it's probably not going to look like that. And she talked about karma, and karma is real. And she used herself as the example. She talked about how she has to explain why her son has a different last name from her own marital last name now. That's something that she has to explain over and over. And she talked about us as being a type of karma. And most people don't pay attention to little things like that. And she also said that karma, the people that she might have offended, including her first husband, whom she actually went back and apologized to, that the person you offended might never see the karma happening to you. So that karma you're waiting for will happen, but you might never see it, but you'll be stuck waiting for it and putting your life on hold, waiting for karma to happen. And your life is literally passing you by right in front of your face. Listen, I listened to her completely. I think she's solid. Let's see here. Babes Win said, why would I be glowing because I want to get to my ex? I'm doing great and glowing for myself. What do you mean getting back at your ex? Normal human beings, that's what they do. If you've been working on yourself, obviously we don't want you to be that person. But people, okay, she talked about her story. She kept making all those mistakes because she was trying to prove her own father wrong. Her father had told her she was after she had her baby at 19, and she would never be able to. Who's going to marry her? Like, who is going to marry you? The father has passed away now, right? Now, statements like that, obviously, we've all made statements like that, and we sound like we are God. Nobody's God, right? There are all types of stories with exceptions out there, right? There's an exception to a rule because it's an exception. It's going to be minority, but the point is that anything is possible, right? And especially if you're going to be the exception to most human beings, meaning you're working on yourself. Most human beings, they don't do the work. They don't do self-development. Listen to what I just said. Most human beings, self-development is too expensive for them. Okay? So some people, if they're weak enough, they will be busy setting up a life. A lot of it is coming from a place of subconscious. She also talked about dating being something that people do from a subconscious place. It's true. My clients know that I put them through a video on how the subconscious mind works before we get into any kind of work. Because if you don't understand that, not to welcome, if you don't understand that, you will struggle. So a lot of it, like if you're operating from a place of intentionality, yes, then you will be like, oh, I will never do that. I'll be, I'm doing great and glowing for myself. That's what the person that has worked on themselves sound like. Most human beings, however, listen to me carefully. That's why you can see them everywhere on social media. Most of them, they're not going to admit it, but they are always worried about what other people think. What would this person say, including your parents? They're more so worried about what would other people think about this. What would this person say? That's how they move, and everything is driven by what it looks like on the outside, as opposed to what is happening on the inside. She also talked about the inner person, as opposed to the outer person, what it looks like on the outside. I would say go watch the video. You will really, really get a lot of game from the podcast. It's 2 hours and 22 minutes. While you're doing other things, just listening. It's Honest Bunch, the most recent. Shay said, 100% correct. My ex has not even seen me in 3 years. I'm doing great by myself. I'm mental health. That's good for you. That's good for you. If you can pull that off, that's good for you. No wonder you're here. Most human beings don't operate that way. They can end up being your sister, your brother, your son, and you might need to, hey, what's wrong with you? Why are you worried about that person? I'm not worried about them. So why are you doing this? Because they will never admit directly, right? You have to catch them like this. If you don't catch them like this, they will escape like this. If you really want to help them, you have to catch them properly. But it's not something that people do from a subconscious place, and it's usually because they're trying to prove somebody something. The whole point of trauma, right? They're trying to prove somebody wrong, and that's just too much weight to carry for an individual to be carrying around, and you're also missing out on life. Listen, go listen to her, okay? She speaks better Nigerian English than me, so you probably will understand that better hearing it from her. But let me know if you go watch it. I'll try to see if I can link it in the description. Give me a feedback in the backstage if you actually watch the full podcast, and we'll take it from there. So yes, I wanted to do a quick warm-up with that. Without any further ado, do me a favor. Again, let's engage the conversation in the comment area. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. Turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. I'll be right back.
Hey Prestige fam, show some love to the video. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Are you in Europe, America, and struggling in your relationship? From argument to abuse and trust issues, we're here to help.
Lola and I founded Prestige Marriage Academy to transform your story. With 20 years of friendship, 17 years of marriage, experience with navigating the ups and downs of marriage, and personalized coaching, includes 24/7 support. Ignorance is expensive. WhatsApp us at +1 732 305 8577 to book a free discovery session today and take charge now.
Don't wing it.
Join us in creating the love life you deserve.